Now, when I pull up, know it's going down. Foot on the gas, ain't no slowing down.
And we are back for another episode of Shocking Good Time. My name is Hector Pino. I have Elijah Pino here, and along with our guest, Brianna Stephens. Brianna, she is a 5'9" MMA fighter. Yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit about her journey and her experience in MMA and what she's got going on. So welcome, Brianna.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just got to know you a little bit. I remember going to your first fight. I believe it was your first fight, at least back in August, and it was pretty exciting. But I'm going to let you be able to introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us about where you're at with your journey right now, where it started, and how you got into the place where you're at today.
Heck yeah. No, I appreciate you guys having me. I'm Bree Stephens. Been training for about 5 years now. Just recently started fighting back in August of last year. Had my first fight. Second fight in October, then most recently this last month. So, working really hard and just kind of been in a position of fighting for what I want when it comes to the MMA community. Yeah. And especially at 559 fights when I came into it, and I did my first PKB and just didn't really have a clear vision of where it was going to take me. And knowing that the strawweight pool is so small, especially everywhere, not just in 559 fights and where we're at, but just felt like I had an opportunity to try to go and see, test what I was made of and at least the pool that we have around. I'm just really pleased with where I'm at right now.
Good.
Everything's kind of been falling into place, things come and go out of your life that you don't really have control over at the moment. Gyms are going to change, things like that. But over the time and everything that has happened, where I've fallen into place with Coach DC, my teammates, just everything as a whole, I'm just very happy with the way that it's kind of came to in its natural state.
Where are you training right now?
I'm training with Coach Darren Crisp over at Crisp MMA.
Nice.
We got a lot of different classes going. Last night we just had a grappling class. A lot of different things going on with the fight team just to kind of get everybody going, people in different camps. Obviously training is going to transition a little bit. But yeah, everything from little kiddos running around, kicking the bag. Coach DC's got such a good program over there. Hopefully a lot more women are going to come and see that they can, have a safe place too to train and see if this is something that they at least want to do.
So when you first started martial arts and things, what was the first discipline you jumped into?
I actually did jiu-jitsu. I was sitting on my couch after I dropped out of college for the last time. I played college softball and
Nice.
Played over at Division II right when I graduated in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Moved over there from Tulare, went to Oklahoma in 2018. Didn't finish out a whole semester. I was like, dude, school is not the vibe. So I just want to play ball. I couldn't get a grip, and it's funny now with the job I have in administration and management, because I'm like, dude, it wasn't that hard. You could have totally done your schoolwork. Come on. But so I didn't finish out over there. It was maybe I just need a little bit of a slower pace in academics. So I moved back home and played at Reedley for a semester, and then still the same thing with school. So dropped out again and realized that I needed to at least just start making some money and paying some bills.
What were you originally going to school for?
When I graduated, like I said, I just wanted to play ball, and I feel like it's a main, kind of a generic thing to do, kinesiology.
Of course.
So I was I'm not really that interested in kines, so my thing is I was a big psych person. I really enjoyed psychology classes that I took as electives in high school, and just a lot of different conversations with people. So I was a psych major, and that's kind of what I wanted to do, but I ran out of electives to take, and I had to start taking math and all that stuff. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
But when I dropped out from Reedley, and I was like, man, just working and just kind of sitting on the couch. My family's been an avid, watch boxing matches all the time with my uncles, and UFC fights all the time with cousins and family. So I think we were sitting on the couch watching a UFC fight one night, and I'm like, jiu-jitsu looks kind of cool. I don't know, they're doing a lot of ground stuff. I have no idea what the hell is going on right now.
Yeah.
So I Googled the gym, jiu-jitsu gyms in the area, and I found Outlaw MMA. And Marty Hawley was there. He was my first coach.
Okay.
Walked in the gym on I think it was like a Sunday. It was closed. He still had everything open. He was doing like Sunday cleaning. And just kind of the conversation I had with him, and went back the next day and did jiu-jitsu no gi, transitioned to the gi.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I was like, man, I think I want to start punching things too.
Yeah.
So, he really helped me transition that. And then Cowboy Jiu-Jitsu, Brian Moody over there, like, just appreciating your roots and where you started. Like,
For
obviously,
sure.
I said gyms are going to change. People are going to come and go out of your life, and everybody kind of serves their own purpose,
Right.
and
Yeah.
we might be in each other's lives for seasons, but just kind of appreciating them for the time that they've given me, and the love and support they've given me through training has,
Yeah.
gotten me to where I'm at with Coach DC now, and
That's great.
I'm just very happy with
That's
that.
great. It's so wild to see how small Earth is. Like we were talking earlier, and just the connection that we have indirectly. Just you playing softball. And my niece Anna. The jiu-jitsu community, the MMA community. Like my boys, they did jiu-jitsu for about 4 or 5 years. When they're younger, and we were running around doing tournaments, traveling up and down California, and for that moment, we had, this great passion for it, obviously, watching the kids around. I remember Elijah's last tournament he did. We were at the Cow Palace, was it?
Yeah, in the Bay Area.
San Francisco
Oh,
area.
wow.
Yeah, that was a tough weight cut. I fought at 116. That's like the bracket. And then it goes 125, and
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near 116 right now. But
We're right here, buddy.
yeah. But getting down to 116, I mean, you're probably really familiar with it. It's a struggle to lose weight.
Exactly, yeah.
Having those like last 2 weeks of fight before the fight or before your match or whatever, it gets pretty intense.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like, I don't know, man. God did not bless me with the height. My dad's pretty tall. My mom's fair. She's like 5'3". I'm 5'2" on a good day, man. So I just, you look at the divisions and you look at certain matchups or whatever, and for 115 for me, like you said, 116, and it's like that's a very hard weight to make.
Yeah,
And
it
I like body fat percentage, women obviously carry weight, a lot differently, and there's things like that. But I mean, you know
Yeah.
from this last one, that
I've
was
seen you,
difficult,
girl.
So that's why, like,
Yeah.
with this next one, I'm hoping for May, given we can find an opponent, irregardless if it's for the belt or not. Like, obviously it's a little bittersweet that, we were just talking about weight cuts, and that's the reason why I didn't get my belt this
Right.
last time, even though I got the win. And it's just kind of, I was thinking about it on the drive over too, because I'm a very like to do person, like what do I got to do today?
Yeah.
And go through my list. And one big thing on my list daily is like figure out like what went wrong, and it's like at the end of the day, I'm not going to dwell on it to a point where it's like ruining my days, but I need to figure out where I can fight that scale and win that battle.
Yeah.
And, cut that extra 0.8.
Yeah.
And it's such a, dehydrating yourself and all that. It's a very grueling process. And
What is
this
your
last one,
what is your weight loss like journey during those moments like look like for you? Like how do you start off? Like how do you finish?
normally, like, I don't know, because it's been a little bit weird. Like for my first one, I cut to 115. But I've missed weight. 4 is my favorite number, by the way, and I missed weight by 0.4
Oh man.
every single time. And it's kind of an annoying thing, and I'll say it with grace, because it's like, I don't want to be the person that's missed weight, but I have, and it kind of is what it is. But if I'm going to make any mistakes, I'd rather make them with amateurs, so. But with that, it's like, I cut weight to 115 the first time, made 116.4, so missed by 0.4 on that pound allowance. And that one was just like, I don't even know how I did it, because I did it so stupidly. Like I don't even think I dieted correctly. I didn't count any calories, any fats, proteins, anything like that. I didn't understand any of that. And so I was just trying to like, we'll just eat less and eat, healthier things. I didn't know that lettuce bloated me a little bit more, so you probably shouldn't eat that on fight week.
Yeah.
Just mistakes that I was making. So my second fight in August, September, October, I fought at 120. So I was like, all right, we're cool, you know, like 5
Yeah.
pounds better. Like I made 116.4. This is going to be easy money. Dude, I was the most out of shape I've ever been at 120. So it's like a constant, for me, it's been an uphill and downhill battle of like, okay, I feel like I'm getting in better shape. And then it's like body fat percentage, water weight, all this stuff. My cardio was great, you know, like my endurance, my technique. I'm working on that stuff daily. But when it comes to like seeing those ups and downs on the scale, it's like, it's a total mental battle, you know? So
Yeah.
this last one, I did very good in terms of like counting calorie deficit, understanding everything, giving myself like a weekly goal. And I was hitting it very well. I think I was at like 22 waking up like a couple days out. And then I hit like 117 the night before weigh-ins. And then when I woke up the next morning, like I had no more sweat, no more spit, sitting in the sauna. I was just trying to cut those last 2 pounds.
Yeah.
And just my body was like not doing it.
Yeah.
you know, so.
I remember when me and Dr. Golden showed up to the fight. We were there really early, and then some of the Camel people start coming up to us, and your name came up right away. And they're just like, Brianna looks very depleted. You know, she had a rigorous weight cut, and you know, she's very irritable, you know, and things like that.
Oh yeah, that's the perfect word.
And so we circled your name, and so I started looking when we went back into the back, and sure enough, man, I mean, I can tell that, you know, your color wasn't all the way back yet, and you did look very depleted and things, and so that's why I came over to you, and because I wanted you to fight, because they were talking about not having you fight.
Yeah,
and
I felt that too. I was kind of getting that sense, and then they were like, all right, you know, go in the next dressing room and go see the doc, you know. So went to Blue Corner's room, and standing in line, and you came over to me, and I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Just acting like, you know, everything's fine. You know, and he's like, hey, they're kind of worried about you. I'm like, oh. And then I think my blood pressure was up, and I was going to tell you, I was like, that was your fault. You fucking stressed me out right before.
No, you know what happened? Actually, I'm not lying at all. We did all of the vitals and everything, and your vitals were the best out of everybody on the roster.
Yeah.
Out of everybody on the roster, like doctor said, there is nothing wrong with her, and I said, well, good. You know.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, but we were. I mean, you did look depleted and things. That's why I told you. I go, you got to look alive, man. You know, you got to look like you're ready to go and excited about it. But I mean, at that point, you had already started to try to, eat and put
Yeah, even my coach too, DC. He was like, after the fight, I think he brought it up too. But he seemed kind of like during that backstage process and like walking out and everything. You know, coaches, he knows me well enough to know like what I need to kind of get me in the zone and hype me up and how to talk to me. So he's doing all his normal things, and he's not getting the same reaction that he normally got the last 2 fights. Where he's like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, are you here right now?"
Yeah.
So yeah, like it was just a weird, very like calm mental state. Like I had already been through the hardest part of it, and I wasn't really at liberty to like spend any more energy on stress.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even have enough energy to laugh for a little while. I was like, I just need to like reset, you know?
I asked the doctor, I was like, Doc, when people are in that state, or if they're very dehydrated during weigh-ins and stuff like that, I was like, well, what are alternatives to get them pumped back up? And I mean, by all means, this is no like medical advice or nothing like that. I was just, because I'm questioning like, what is the fastest way? And you know, obviously the go-to is, well, drink water, electrolytes, and this and that. He says, but the way to get it done is the IV, of course. You know what I mean? Some people, they'll put it in an IV just to really come back to life. Yeah.
Because it definitely was a slower process this time. Like, after the first 2 fights, like I'm a Pedialyte Plus person. I love that blue one. I'll take some Pedialyte popsicles to weigh-ins. I got my whole thing set up now. And, like that sodium, for even after like I checked in with you guys, and I'm sitting backstage maybe like an hour before I actually walk out and fight, I'm like rubbing my legs out. I'm like, dude, all the sodium's like in my brain. I feel good. It's in my body, but it does not touch my legs. Yeah. Like your legs are the first thing to go, and my legs were just so like heavy and tired and like achy. Like I just ran a bunch the day before. So when I went out there, I was like, when, hand got raised. I was like, oh, thank you, God. Legs are tired, man. It was a fight, and I'm just definitely glad that, God willing, it worked out the way that it did.
Yeah, it did. I was so in your corner, and being biased, of course, without just I watched from the initial talk with Clay from Camo, and then just seeing you and watching you, and then as you walked into the arena and got to the cage, I don't know, I was so in your corner, wanting you to win, because I seen just on your face the amount of just depleted energy that you didn't have, right?
Yeah.
And so I remember right before the fight, I looked at you, you looked at me, and I'm like, and you gave me the thumbs up. I was like, go get him, girl.
And those things, we were just talking a little bit earlier about cultivating those relationships, appreciating, the people that are around you in every moment. It's a small world. You meet people that you know, but you don't really know,
right?
And to have people in your corner, there's people around you in the stands, people bought tickets, people, all, from everywhere, friends, family, work, training, came out to support me, my teammates, and everybody. That stuff feels amazing. But having people close by, that's a different vibe. Having, my partner JJ, having my coach DC, having Dr. Gold, having you, all those faces that kind of give you that sense of I have my people around me, and cultivating that relationship with you, and you taking the time and having the empathy to come and be like, hey, you good?
Yeah.
I was like, not really, but we're still here, brother. Yeah. So, we're gonna fight it. So
of course.
I have another question for you, I guess. What does your morning look like on the day of a fight, right? What are you feeling? What is your routine? What gets you into that mode that you need to get into?
So same day weigh-ins are a bastard. That is not even possible for me right now. That's why I'm trying to figure it out for this next one, because I know that, I'm probably missing something along the way, but right now for me, the first 2 fights, I didn't sleep but 30 minutes the night before, and all throughout my competitive career playing sports growing up.
I can see that.
I packed my bag. I got my lunch pail ready. I got my cleats right by my bag. Got everything. Get a good night's sleep. Got my uniform all laid out. I have my routine. Yeah. With this, it butchers my routine, because I'm
you have the stress of the weigh-in, right? You have to make weight, and then you have the fight right after.
I'm trying to sleep, and I'm I can't, dehydrated. And for me, my legs, my body, my back, and my head is the biggest thing when I'm cutting weight, that night of and that morning of, because it's when you're dehydrated, your brain is the first thing to dehydrate,
Mm-hmm.
So it's when it comes down to that, for me, it feels like being drunk and hungover at the same exact time.
Oh, wow.
I don't even know how to explain it. You're disoriented, you're just all over the place, but that headache and that you get when you just, drink a little too much, that's exactly what it feels like. And for me, that's been a big hindrance, because it affects your mental state. I'm feeling that 24 hours before I'm supposed to fight. Yeah. Maybe even less. I felt like that the morning of. I still felt like that an hour before almost. So, I wish I had a good morning routine, because for me, ideally, I'm gonna wake up early in the morning. I'm gonna take my dogs out and go sit outside in my yard, have my little cup of coffee. Maybe not a cup of coffee if I gotta weigh in, but I'm gonna go and just zen out and relax and go weigh in and be calm. I don't know. I'm a little bit different. Life kind of stresses you out. Fighting is a very stressful thing.
Yeah.
So saving all my adrenaline, all my everything,
is there
that round.
Is there mental practices that you do outside of the gym, in terms of there's some people I know that they practice and use some form of hypnosis, or they like you said, zen out, or they they find these mind coaches to kind of help you just find that stage of utopia or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. JJ and I, my partner, we've actually kind of been talking benefits of having a mental coach, and
absolutely
possibilities about that. Obviously you got to make those connections, cultivate those relationships, and find those people. But for me, I don't know, Definitely not medical advice, you know, but I've definitely dabbled. Like, I've been a big microdosing fan. Done that within past couple of years, not recently, but especially not like, I don't think even when I've been fighting. But for me, like, connecting and just having that time with yourself, like, I'm a big dog person. I got my animals, being around nature, just kind of those experiences that I've had in the past really, like, life's too short, man. Like,
yeah.
I don't, I'm a big, like, breathwork person,
Good.
things like that. You know, sauna, ice bath. We got Respire Fire and Ice out there in Visalia, California. Very good, like, setup out there to kind of do your cold plunge and sauna setup. So it's like, with that, there's a lot of different things that, like, it's just about feeling good, feeling healthy. But
Yeah.
for zenning and, like, mental state, it's just, for me, like, don't put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah.
Just, it's going to be there. The stressors are going to be there. You just got to have a lot of faith in yourself and believe it, you know?
Yeah.
I know, like, Rose Namajunas, can't remember what fight it was, but she's out there saying, like, I'm the best, like,
Absolutely.
right before she walks out.
Yeah.
Positive affirmations,
Yeah.
like,
Absolutely.
you know, when you walk through a door, having a new mindset, it's supposed to flip you. Like,
Yeah.
all these things, you know, like I said, I was a psych major. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
read a lot of things, you know, listen to a lot of different podcasts. Like, I just try to take, no one has the right formula, the perfect formula.
You have to create your own recipe, man.
You have to create your own recipe.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot from grandma's recipe,
Yeah.
Theo's recipe.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Absolutely.
everybody's, you got to take a little bit.
I heard it said
you know,
like
to
this
your-
one time, man, is like, you know, everyone has something to offer you, but you don't take it all from everybody, right? You have to learn to chew the meat and spit out the bones.
Exactly.
You know, and
Yeah.
if you can perceive it that way, I mean, that's huge. Like, I think what you're talking about is huge. I mean, I do my own, you know, daily affirmations, my own habits and rituals every day. I'm in my office 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning, man. You know, I'm sure we have all glass in the front, so I'm sure all the early morning people that are driving by think that that's a crazy man in the front of the office, pacing, doing my, you know, because I gotta be right here, you know what I mean? Even as a businessman, and even you as a fighter or as, you know, whatever journey that you're on, not just you but everybody else, right? Like you have to be mentally prepared for it, man. So it's very important to lock in.
Exactly.
To be successful, you have to lock in, man. And there's not a lot of people that are out there that think like what we're talking about,
Yeah.
right? They just get up every day and go to work, and you know,
It's like a zombie, like, and I mean, I've been in that,
Yeah,
you know,
the
like
rat
that's,
race, right?
It's 100% the rat race, and I feel like you know, we're kind of still in it to a point. Like, I'm not gonna.
but we're working on getting out of it, right?
It's about addressing and understanding it.
And
I
if
think,
if you're aware of it, right, and you know how to get out of it, or you're working towards getting out of it, it'll happen, right? So like everything will align. Like I don't have to know if I want to be one day you know, a multi-millionaire. I may not have the recipe on how to do it right now today, but if I keep on walking in that direction, people will come into my life, just like what's happened today, right? Just like, you know, God just knows how to kind of connect it all, you know?
Exactly.
But it's got to be in us, right? It's got to be in us to want to achieve those things. And you're not going to become successful sitting on your hands. You got to put in the work.
Exactly. Yeah. Just like we were talking earlier about, like, you know, my academic prowess or lack thereof, should we say. Now, you know, I'm a regional manager for Visalia Unified's after school programs.
Nice.
And our company is called the LAVO. It's like an elevated learning opportunity for kids. And when my partner and I, when we found the job posting, we were both just working odd jobs. I think I was working at like Starbucks at the time. He's working, and, you know, we're just trying to get by, make ends meet so that we can train, you know, like that's really all we want to do. You know, having a partner that trains is like the best thing in the entire world. It's a very cohesive, on the same path. But yeah, like with that and working odd jobs and moving up in the company, having that as a part-time job is like the best thing ever. Working as just an after-school mentor, coach, getting to work through all the seasons, like right now we're going to do wiffle ball, and like playing softball growing up, I'm like, dude, this is the best thing ever. Like, I get paid.
Practice.
I get paid to do this. Like,
Yeah.
And so now, I'm like I said, a regional manager and overseeing, the coaches on campus that I used to be on campus.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing process. I absolutely love my job, but I was actually talking to my coworkers yesterday, and I'm like, man, I just want to clock in and be on campus. Like, I'm tired of sitting in front of my computer.
Mm-hmm.
Tired of sitting there dealing with HR, dealing with admin calls. I'm like, bro, there's such good things that come from that, and I love my job. But even driving over today, I'm like, dude, I get to be in my car and just be like, it's nice to just be free for a little bit. There's a lot of responsibilities that come with having that structure and having that, and I think somebody said something the other day where it was like, the worst thing is becoming responsible at work, like becoming important at work. But I'm very happy with where I'm at, but it's just understanding and addressing how I used to be, how I used to not give a crap about responsibilities, about, I'll just call out, now I'm the one dealing with the call outs.
Yeah.
Now I'm the one, having to kind of flip that on its head and put a little bit more responsibility on myself, put a little bit more belief in myself.
Right.
Because, if you would have told me a year ago that, I'd be having an actual stable job and solidifying and being important, I'd be like, you're fucking I'm going to Chili's after work.
Dealing with call outs and being responsible for other people's, I don't like looking at it like that, but being responsible, making sure everybody shows up for work and things like that parts can be stressful for sure. I feel you there.
Yeah.
I had a question for you though. What as far as the MMA and your career and things like that, you're starting off, or how long have you been doing it in total?
I want to say 5 years.
5 years? Okay,
yeah.
so what in the next 5 years, what does that look like for you? Where do you want to be?
I was gonna ask the same question. Good question.
I like that. Man, I don't know. I feel like definitely still enjoying it. I want to say that first. Definitely still loving it, because I definitely I played softball for 12, 13 years growing up, and I had a point one day where I was like, I really don't like this that much anymore. I feel like the love kind of got pulled out of it. Now that I'm not in it anymore, I have that love again for it, to where I'm like, that jovial kid love. So I guess for me, it's where I see myself in 5 years, or at least hope to be, is still loving it, and hopefully in a position enough to be confident and competent enough to give that knowledge and pass it on. Whether that means fighting professionally and making a good bag off of it wherever it's at, and get paid to get punched in the face is kind of a nice idea.
Have you looked into that process as far as how to get to fighting professionally, getting to Bellator or UFC?
I feel like luckily too, there's a decent number of promotions, so where it's not just all right, you got to go on Ultimate Challenge or Ultimate Fighting Challenge or the show, and then you got to go here and do that. I feel like there's like I said earlier, I don't like to put a set. I want to have a schedule, but I don't want to put excess stressors and responsibilities.
No, I feel that.
And not that it's a stressful question, but just I guess where my head is if it comes, it comes.
Yeah.
That would be a great thing. But I think I'm learning a lot about, you have to work for the things that you want, but I'm not at liberty to change the road that I'm on. And I feel like God has a lot of things planned for me that I'm not trying to step outside of that.
Right.
And it's a very calm, very confident sense of, I feel confident in every step I'm taking.
That's a great way of looking at it. Yeah.
So yeah.
People get stuck on I'm a victim of it for sure. Just setting these huge expectations for myself, and then it's all right, when I don't see the actual result happening, you get very upset with yourself, and it's man, dude, what the heck am I doing wrong?
Right.
But sometimes you got to just step back and be all right, I'm doing what I need to do, just God has a different road for me, or a different route He's taking me. I have to just trust Him. You know.
Exactly.
I think I've learned in that process is, I like to dream big. I like to really put it all out there, like huge dreams, right? And dreams so big that people laugh at me. But when I do that, man, I got to break it down, though. You know what I mean? I have the dream, have goals, and have targets. So I have to hit the targets to accomplish the goal so that I can get to the dream,
exactly.
right? And so it's a process. You got to create these standard operating procedures, I guess, SOPs.
Literally,
Right?
just oh my God, dude. I think I said SOP like 40 times yesterday. Like, it's important, and then the foundation that it's built on, and the bones, and the motive behind it is really anything and everything. I feel like in what you do, you know, like if you're not, we're put on this earth to enjoy and love people and cultivate relationships, and serve.
Yeah.
And if we're not serving each other, what are we doing?
Right.
You know, like
Exactly.
we're all consumers. We all, what are we doing here?
Right.
You know, like we need people, and when you disregard people, that's when it becomes an issue.
100%, girl. Man, I love that. I think we're on the same frequency. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I appreciate
100%.
you, man.
You too, brother.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. So we're just on this path, man. Like I want to ask you, like, so where do you see yourself, like, in terms of like, do you have this entrepreneurial type mindset, or do you feel like you're just trying to lock in where you fit in? Do you like maybe later on in life, do you want to maybe like have your own company, or do you just like what do you?
100%. I like the transition you did in that. Lock in where you fit in, and the opposing side is entrepreneurship and you know, that enjoyment that comes with that. And I've struggled keeping all of the part-time jobs I had because I don't like to lock in to fit in. And I've been pushed against the grain, you know, not just abiding by it. I don't have any sense of like no care for authority in that sense. Like, I don't give a shit that you're my boss. Because I understand at the end of the day that, like, when we clock out, you're just another person just like I am. And I hated that hierarchy. I hated that you're really going to make me feel like crap because I'm at work right now and you make $2 extra than I do. Like, so my position that I'm in right now, I love that I get to be in a position of being a boss. You know, people come up to me and they're like, hey, what's up, boss? And I'm like, oh, I am a boss. Like, that feels weird. Like, I'm not used to that, you know? And cultivating those relationships and having people be honest with me and authentic and truthful. And it's not like a boss-employee relationship. So for me, I'm so much enjoying that I am, in fact, locking in to fit in.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But on the side, you know, I love my job. They give me enough time, PTO, you know, get your days off to do your fight, take a couple of days off after that. You know, I have stuff planned that they give me a lot of leeway. I'm working today, you know, just got to deal with stuff on my phone until I get back into town. Like, it's a very cush job when it comes to that. And I very much enjoy it, but I have so many other things that I enjoy in life that it's like, I never saw myself locking in to fit in.
Yeah.
Bills got to get paid.
Yeah.
And if that's for right now, I'm cool with it. No job set in stone. I work for the school district. You know, funding changes all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not naive to the fact that I could get a call right now and be like, hey, Bree. So, you know, you have to have contingency plans.
Right.
And that's kind of my biggest thing. Just have a fallback. You know, life's going to change. It's not...
It is.
I'm always going to have a place to lay my head. I've got enough people in my life that I'm never going to go without a meal.
Yeah.
You know, luckily. And I got enough love in my life that if the financial wealth runs out, it doesn't really matter. You know, so with me, I'm locking in to fit in to secure all of those things so that I don't have to go without. I don't have to lose those things. But I mean, I want to start a juicing company within like next year or so.
Nice.
Really big on like sea moss gel, tinctures, juicing, kale shakes, all of that stuff. So it's been a very long process. Like when I was at Reedley and playing softball there, I used to wake up like every single morning and deal with a bunch of different stomach issues, like a lot of bile in my stomach, just feeling super uncomfortable. And when I started the juicing, I was like, oh, dude, like
This
my
works.
stomach's hurting.
Yeah.
And this is really soothing it. So I think it was like a year process, honestly, that I was like, well, just trying different things, bought a juicer, bought a Vitamix, and I just kind of fell in love with it, fell out of love with it, started kind of getting off the rail again, get kind of lazy with stuff. But having the goals that I have now for fighting, it's like, it coincides with each other.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not staying on track, it's going to suck like it just did,
Yeah.
you know? So I'm not at liberty to have that happen again. So
Good.
I think that in terms of like business and stuff, yeah, just juicing and health has saved me a lot. You know, I worked at Starbucks for a while. I worked at a coffee shop, so I'm like, it would be ideal. You know, talking to Coach too, if we could get like a bigger spot. You know, post up with a little coffee bar. You know,
That'd be cool.
You come to the gym, come get your stuff situated, walk out with coffee. You got fresh juice. You got shakes on demand, stuff like that.
I don't know if I've ever seen a gym like that, honestly.
Yeah,
like with a coffee shop or something inside of it. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
You got enough people, you cultivate relationships. We have Miranda over at Massage by Miranda and Visalia. She hooks us up. She's a very good masseuse. It's like, why wouldn't you want to have like a little compound? You know,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you want to
Yeah.
go get your workout on, go, get a massage if you wanted, walk out of there and have something healthy to consume, So I feel like I said, we're all consumers. I think there's like a juice spot like down the street from my house. I went and got like a 12-ounce juice, freaking $9. Bro. I'm like, oh my God. I went home and made the same exact juice, like $3.45. I'm like, so it's just those things too, when it comes down to it. I really feel like I've enjoyed it. I have a lot of love for it. And like I said, if we're not serving people, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to see your strengths, see your weaknesses. And I feel like I have a lot of things to offer in terms of like giving. I love, I'm not a phenomenal cook. My boyfriend's definitely the cook. He's an amazing cook. But there's something about like making something with your hands and, having somebody, that, consuming it, it's that love that is passed on and the energy that's passed on through it. And I feel like those are kind of, like I said, if there's no good motive behind it, what are you doing? I don't want to start a juicing company because I'm like, I feel like I can make $9.50 off of freaking juice.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't give a shit about that, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so I got
It's impacting lives, right?
Impacting lives.
That's what it's about.
my uncle too, living out in Lemoore, Alex. He's been such a big impact on my life when it comes to the juicing, when it comes to holistic things, when it comes to going against the grain, not fitting in, but also locking in to fit in too. And understanding when that's the time. And super proud of him and where he's at. But he just recently got done with some classes out in LA for like a dog grooming service. So
nice.
He's getting that situated. I got 3 dogs at one time. I had 13.
You had 13 dogs?
Yeah, because we lived out in Lindsay.
Tell us a little bit about that. 13 dogs. You had a shelter going.
Lindsay, and when we moved into the house, I had my Chihuahua that I've had for like 8-9 years, and my German Shepherd, my soul dog. And then my boyfriend JJ had his soul dog, Nala. So we moved into the house, had them, and unfortunately that year on my birthday, his dog Nala actually passed away.
Oh, man.
And it was very random. We didn't know what happened. A month later, my soul dog Max passed away of a broken heart with her. So we lost both of them and didn't really know how to fill that void. So we got one German Shepherd. I didn't get 13 right at once. One German Shepherd, and then we rescued a dog. And my German Shepherd, when he was not even a year old, got that rescue pregnant.
Oh.
And it was a mishap on our end because we were doing really good about keeping them separate. And it was just like we weren't going to keep her. So I was like, I'm not going to go get her fixed and go through all that. And just, like that, it happened. And she had a huge litter. And we had 13 dogs at one point. So rehomed those doggos, actually moved and living in Tulare now. So we have 3 dogs now. Boyfriend's got a Queensland Heeler, and I got a German Shepherd, and we have our Chihuahua. So
I love Queensland Heelers.
Those are cool dogs. It's the rescuing that gets me because we've done that before, and I was like, damn it, definitely you got a rescue pregnant right now. I got to deal with 13. Come on. So Yeah, but I'm a dog lover. Just kind of segueing back, like, you know, with my uncle opening that business, like that's kind of been my niche is like, I'm going to get my paycheck. I'm going to get dialed in. I'm going to do what I need to do. But like, I have enough time throughout the day. Like there's so many hours that I'm like sitting doing nonsensical shit that I'm like, I could be doing something.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like going to either further what I want to do in the future or like, you know, like I said, financial gain isn't everything, but I'm a big, like, I could be making money right now.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
for
like
sure.
I could be
Absolutely.
doing something. So, and don't get me wrong, like my coach is probably gonna watch this and be like, "You're lazy sometimes, Brianna." I know I am, but there's definitely like an urge to just keep going. And like I said, whatever, I feel confident, I feel supported by God and all the steps that I'm taking. And I'm just
Yeah.
happy, you know, with the path that I'm on. But just trusting in it,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like
You know, you truly become a product of your environment, man. And so as you start to meet other people in your life will start to evolve, you know, and start to change some. So
Exactly.
like Henry Ford years ago, obviously, you know, he was in this meeting and, you know, they're grilling him about, you know, some topics and issues and, well, tell us about this and tell us about that, you know, and he's like, well, I don't have all those answers, but I do have the people. I have the buttons on my desk to call who has those answers, right? And so we kind of have to apply those same principles to our life, you know what I mean? And so as your life starts to evolve and change, probably one of the most powerful things you have on you is your phone, you know, your network, the people that surround you,
Oh, yeah.
right? And so I use those things in my life. And so I had a guy tell me one time, Hector, if you want to be successful, man, you got to hang around successful people. And if you want the life that you're striving for, you know, you have to get in that environment, man. And so I've been blessed enough to be able to be around certain people to change my mind, my mind and the process of how I think. And so, you know, you're young and the way that you think today, 5 years from now, is going to be different. I
100%.
promise you that,
Yeah.
man. You know, and I think we all know that. And you know, I'm 45 this year, and I think when I'm 50, I'll think a little bit differently. You know what I mean? Like it's just an evolving time. You know,
yeah.
and that's just what happens. But man, I'm super proud of what you're doing. You have big dreams and hopes and aspirations of life, man. And I wish you the best, man. Like I see this fire in you, and I'm hearing more of your story, and just for whatever reason, this last time we met, I just felt a different connection, and I'm like, man, there's something about this girl, man. You know, and
Appreciate
you do have greatness in you, girl. Not just in the cage, but I feel like what you offer to society, man, is very impactful, man. So I commend you 100-fold, and man, I'm in your corner.
Appreciate you.
Always.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's you know, I am young. I'll be 25 this year.
Nice.
In November and
What day?
November 11th.
Okay, you're like what is that? Like 13, 14 days older than me.
Oh, okay, 2000 baby too.
Yep.
Oh, let's go. No, for sure. But yeah, like I just feel like I've always surrounded myself with people that were older. I don't know if that that's kind of helped out. I feel like for me, along
matures
the way,
you for sure.
100%. And I don't know, like my best friends are my grandparents. You know,
awesome.
my grandparents out in Lemoore, and we just actually went visited them last Sunday, and you know they always fill my cup back up.
Yeah.
Like you surround yourself with people that fill your cup up.
Yeah.
They don't, you know, energy parasites, people that drain your battery. Like you don't need any of that. You know, like keep that away from me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And but yeah, like giving back to those people. If people fill your cup up, you need to fill their cup up.
Yeah.
It's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Like you don't be taken away from people.
That's
and
right.
be greedy and be gluttonous, and you need to fill love back into the people. And for me, I'm just super blessed that I've been afforded the opportunities that I've had. That you know, God has blessed me with the love and the people that I have in my life.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a position now where, you know, the job I have, I get to make sure that the right mentors are in the right positions for the kids on campus. Yeah. It's really the main consensus of my job.
That specifically, the giving back, like that's something like don't struggle to give. I just try to figure out how to give back. Like it's not just money sometimes, because sometimes we don't have the money to give people.
Yeah.
It's also like finding within myself, what can I give to the next person? If I'm getting all this good knowledge from people and I'm learning from the great people around me, like how do I give back? Because I always hear people saying it's super important to give back, but like that right now, like recently, I struggle to find out what I have, like what I need to give, like,
right, yeah,
so,
because it's definitely, there's going to be like, there's different needs, right?
Yeah.
And for instance, like, with grandparents, with parents, things like that, like, let's say your parents are consistently giving you something all the time. They're giving you their love, they're giving you their time, they're nurturing, and you see them in a hardship and you're like, exactly that.
Yeah.
How do I give back? How do I fill your cup up like you filled mine up? And I feel like sometimes there is no, like you said, like money isn't always there. And money isn't the most, if we're stressing about bills, you got a little bit of money, you can shoot it this way, that might help a little bit. But the main thing I feel like is just understanding that empathy and time goes a long way.
Yeah.
Being sitting in someone's presence and just letting them know that you're there.
Yeah.
Like, that's more valuable, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't need you to fix my problem. A lot of times people really don't want you to sit there and have a solution.
Yeah.
They just want you to sit there and feel their pain for a minute.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
have a little bit of empathy and sympathy.
That's good. That's good advice, man. Well, Bree, I want to thank you a lot, man, for showing up. And this won't be the only time. We're gonna do this again, man.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
We want to be a part of your journey for sure. Lad, do you want to add anything before we?
No, just
conclude?
hope you had a good time talking with this, man. Like, we just
hey, this is a good time, man.
Yeah.
No, very, very therapeutic conversation.
No, it is. I love your energy, man, and I feel like not a lot of people like get down like that. You know what I mean? And,
I definitely don't look like that when I'm beating people up. So.
And I believe
a little bit
it.
of a different vibe. Don't judge a book by its cover. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, you gotta have some trickery to your way of maneuvering through life,
100%.
man. But appreciate you, Bree, so much, man. And
I do have one last question.
Yeah.
Where is your gym located?
We are at, I might get the address wrong, but I think I'm confident on it. I think it's 3640 South Mooney Boulevard in Visalia, California.
Okay.
So it's on Mooney Boulevard, but if you look it up, it's Crisp MMA.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah, Crisp MMA, Muay Thai, and kickboxing. So we
Nice.
have a plethora of things there, but CRISP. And our coach's name is Darren Crisp.
Chris. Okay.
yeah,
got
we'll
you.
make sure to post it up on this podcast and things. But
Come on, I think I got the address.
Thanks,
well,
Bree.
thanks
Thank
again,
you,
man.
guys.
We appreciate you guys and hope you guys enjoyed the segment.